So the Giants let go of Perry Fewell today, and we're lucky enough to have one of the Giants' defensive players, Mark Herzlich, their linebacker, joins us now on the show. Mark, it's Michael and Don. How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Great to be on with you. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. Were you a little surprised by this?
Yeah, I think that for what Perry did last year, I am surprised. But in terms of, making some change, I'm not surprised. That's what happens when, you don't go to the playoffs in consecutive years. There are things that happen, and when they came out and basically said, Coughlin's going to be around, Coughlin's going to be staying, I kind of figured something was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to be this.
Did you get the impression after that press conference that, hey, it looked like maybe we dodged a bullet, that everybody will come back and do order for next season?
I did, and I think that John Merrick basically came out and said, look, it's up to Coughlin, and basically said, if we want to keep everything intact, we can, but we're going to look around and kind of see what happens. And so, I thought, maybe everybody's going to stay, and it would have been nice, but I understand, and I think everybody understands that this is the business of football, and you don't stick around if you're not winning. Same thing for players, same thing for coaches.
Now, Mark, obviously Perry's all you know since you came out of BC, and the year before the Giants' defense was 8th. This year it was like 27th, something like that. Was there a difference in the way he coached, or did injuries bring down the unit?
There was not that big of a difference in the way he coached, and I think we look at an 8th-ranked defense last year, but bottom line is we weren't a playoff team. We had a losing record, and I think that it was kind of something that we could hang our hat on, being an 8th-ranked defense. But at the end of the day, when you're not winning, it doesn't matter what ranked defense you are. This year we had, injuries were crazy. Finishing with 22 guys on IR is, ridiculous. I was having dinner the other night with Ryan Tannehill, and we were kind of going over, hey, how did the season go for you? How did the season go for you? And it said, we had 22 guys in IR. And he goes, what? I've never heard of that ever. And he had to deal with a lot of new guys, and some of the guys they brought in, like Walter Thurman, was out for a long time. Prince Amukamara, who was having a phenomenal year until his injury, they had to replace them. Tremaine McBride went down as the backup nickel. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, he was having trouble, with injuries all year. John Beeson, the captain, you can name them one after another. And to Perry's credit, we put some games together where, we played pretty well, but it was kind of the end of the game, finishing it off, that we didn't do very well.
Listen, the injuries are so true, Mark, but there were times, especially you look at that first game of the season against Detroit, so many big plays. That was the frustrating thing for me. Big, long third-down conversions, huge plays. I think I saw the stat that you guys gave up more big plays in the first 8 weeks this year than you did all of last year. Why do you think that was?
Big plays killed us. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what it was every single time, but I think that a lot of times we would get, we'd set them back with penalties, or we'd set them back with a sack or two in the beginning of the year, and then we had a draw go for like 29 yards on third down, and that kills us. Or a quarterback would scramble around and get a big run, and that can't happen. And then we let the ball go over our heads a couple times. And when there's a breakdown in the communication and a breakdown in the system, then that's when big plays happen. And there was poor tackling, and there was poor technique, but we needed to get the communication 100%, so everybody was playing the same defense. I think that happened a couple times to us throughout the year, and that's on everybody. That's not just on the coaches; that's on the players getting it too.
Talking with Giant linebacker Mark Herzlich here on the Michael Kay Show. Mark, I'm wondering, after a year where you had 6 straight losses at the beginning of the year, this year 7 straight losses in the middle of the season, in that losing streak, are you guys looking at each other and going, what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what happened. The first couple of weeks, like, all right, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, and you think you fixed it, and then all of a sudden something else is happening. So you get to the point where you're saying, what else are we going to do? What else can we do? And I think eventually it just happened as we just said, you know what, this is kind of how it's going to be. We just have to keep playing, and things will go our way at some point. And that took a lot longer than we had wanted it to, but we got a couple wins at the end of the season, which really in terms of playoff picture and the season meant nothing, but it meant something in our mentality going forward and our confidence level.
Mark, will you and your teammates go into next season believing that you may have to go to the playoffs to save your coach's job?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of already been stated that that's the way it goes. And I think John Mara said in his press conference that, all right, you got one more year, one more shot. And I think basically everybody thinks that means, all right, we go to the playoffs. He can stick around for a while. If we don't, then we look for another coach. So we want to go to the playoffs. We want to win a Super Bowl, not necessarily for Coach Coughlin, but for ourselves, for our franchise, because some of us have done it before, and we know what it feels like. And that number of guys who have done it gets less and less each year. So, that leadership needs to step up for next year.
Perry Fewell, a nice guy. I hear good things about him. Are you sorry to see him go?
I am. And spending 4 years with a guy. You get to know him, you get to know his family, I know his son and his wife, and they're great people. And I'm sure that wherever he goes, they're going to be very lucky to have him. And I'll be sorry to not see him anymore, along with Coach Junta, because both those guys are just they're good people, along with good coaches. So. I hope they land somewhere great.
All right, Mark, before I let you go, let's put you to work. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Is anybody going to be able to beat Seattle?
Anybody? I don't know. I mean, Seattle's looking great, and I mean, we can't say that we stopped them when we played them.
First half.
His first half, yeah, but they started rolling. But I really think that I wouldn't like to see it happen, but the Cowboys, when they hit their stride, I mean, they have so many threats on offense. So. I think I'm keep my fingers crossed that they don't. Just from being a Giant. But when I see them play at a high level, they can do it.
What were your thoughts when they picked up that flag on Sunday?
Yeah, well, I was looking at it, and then I heard how they said that it was the wrong call today, but.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
We started learning that, man, you can't count on the flags. You can't count on the flags to win the game. But I was surprised too. There was a lot of fumbles that weren't recovered, that were covered by the offense, and defense wasn't getting on top of it. And it was a crazy game. I was sitting there. I was sitting there like, oh my God, this is wild. I didn't know who to root for, to be honest, because I know so many of the Dallas guys. But it's Dallas, so who knows?
Now, that's a punch-to-the-gut moment for a player. If you're a Lion, is that a difficult play to recover from? Yeah.
I mean, because you're thinking, man, that should be our play, and you got to kind of get out of that mindset that, man, this drive shouldn't have even been happening. But it is happening. So, I mean, if that's in your mind for another play or two, they're scoring touchdowns. So, I don't know. You got to get out of your head, but it's almost impossible. You get a big pass interference call or a no holding call. You're thinking, man, it should be our ball.
Mark, are you over the loss of the Pinstripe Bowl? That was a tough loss.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll ever get over that. Yeah.
Were you there?
And being from Pennsylvania too, everybody, Penn State fans. I was like, yes, we got them. Man, that was painful, and I was there for the first half, so, I get in my car, drive over to the team hotel to get ready for our game. I'm like, what is going on? What is happening?
A missed extra point. That's not good.
No, that is not good.
Well, Mark, we thank you for coming on. Happy New Year. We appreciate your time.